And one of the things that we usually hear when we hear further in our education, especially as men, we get nervous because we think that is we have to go off to school or we have to, but further in our education, we're talking about empowering ourselves as men. It's talking about doing things that will cause us to change our lives.
Right.
And that may mean enrolling in a technical vocational school so that we can learn something new. That may mean taking a course at COB that they have to improve what we do.
Amen.
Because what it is about education is that with education, we're not worrying about the money because that part comes, but with education, we improve ourselves.
Amen.
Right.
With education, we improve ourselves and also the person around us.
Right.
Because education is the vehicle
Amen.
that gets us to the next level.
Yes.
Now, one thing about it, man, I know that a lot of times people have said negative stuff, especially about men, when it comes to education.
Amen.
And I want to tell you tonight, see, I'm not coming here to tell you something out of the textbook. I'm coming to tell you something that I have lived.
Right.
When we're in school, and no offense to the women because the girls do well in school.
Yes.
But we are not trained as men to say that it's okay to do well in school.
Right. Right.
The girls can do good, but the boys, if you're doing well in school, you're soft. And that's a problem. Young men, we have to know what we're going to do to improve our lives.
Amen.
I want to tell you, and a lot of this, when we look, we'll see how are you so successful and how can I be successful? But I want to tell you, man, one of the things that I've learned is that they were playing a song while we were waiting. And as long as God is in it,
Yes.
it's not over.
It's another one.
It's not over.
Amen.
Let me tell you, sometimes persons put labels, and how many persons have been in school and the teacher have told you that you're no good. You wouldn't make it. You can't go to college. How many persons has that happened? Oh, okay. Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you. See, someone's label of us is not the label that our God has for us.
Right.
Let me tell you. See, I will tell you what happened with me. Everyone usually look and they say, boy, you're doing well and all of these things, but it wasn't always the case. I went to Ridgeland Primary School, went to St. Thomas More Catholic Primary, graduated from there and went to St. Augustine's College. In St. Augustine's College, I went into grade 7 and, new environment and you do okay. I went into grade 8, played around and had to repeat grade 8. So I was in grade 8 while my friends went to grade 9. I went to grade 9. I went to grade 10. And the first time they started introducing, for me, I had 3 sciences: biology, chemistry, physics, and all the math. And in grade 10, I got 3 F's and 2 D's. And the principal at St. Augustine's called my parents in July of 1983 and told them that your son is not welcome here anymore. He's not welcome here anymore. And what you really should do is consider enrolling him. And at that time, it was not BTBI, it was the technical college on Soldier Road. It doesn't make sense because he is not academic. And so they had a label that I couldn't make it. And so, my parents, not believing them, decided that they will try to enroll me in another school. And of course, again, that's why it's important for our ladies and for our parents and for our young men Don't allow someone's label of you to determine where you're going to go. In 1983, with little options, tried 2 private schools and my parents couldn't get me in. And there was an opening at R. Bailey. And R. Bailey at the time, they were saying, I had to wait to make sure that they had space. My father told them that if he had to buy a desk and a chair, he'll buy the desk and a chair so I can attend school. Wow. I went to R. Bailey in 1983, and let me tell you, it was a humbling experience because I was not at R. Bailey because my parents couldn't afford it, but because someone had said I was not academically good enough to be in this school. And let me tell you, when we have labels like that placed on us, our self-esteem is low.
Right.
And we are defeated already because someone's label of us said that we can't make it.
Yes, sir.
But when I went to R. Bailey, I met a high school guidance counselor by the name of Zoe Miller Powell.
Right.
And she was like, "Why are you here?" And I'm sure she knew because she would have seen my transcript. And I said, I flunked out of St. Augustine's College. And she said, "Why? What happened?" And I couldn't explain it. I went to R. Bailey for 2 years. And in 1985, I graduated. But guess what? I didn't graduate with honors, but I graduated with grades good enough. But let me tell you, see, again, it's important to speak life over people.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
God has ordained that to us. We can't say negative stuff over our boys and our girls. I say speak life into them. And let me tell you, when you start speaking life into young people, when you start speaking life into yourself, you will see the wonderful things that happen.
Right.
And let me tell you, I graduated in 1985, and all of my friends were going on to the College of the Bahamas. And so I decided I would take the test for the College of the Bahamas also. And all of my friends got in, and I didn't.
Wow.
All of my friends got in, and I didn't. And so I was like, what's happening with me? But guess what? Sometimes God has to allow you to hit your head to some walls to allow you to know and appreciate some things that are going to happen in your life.
Yes.
And all of my friends went to COB and I decided to. I was now required to go and work. And I worked for a year. And one of the things that I appreciated in working for a year, it taught me a few lessons.
Yes, sir.
It said that if I wanted to better myself, I had to improve what I was doing in my life.
Right.
If I wanted to improve my paycheck, I had to improve what I was doing in my life. If I wanted a better environment, I had to improve my life and what I was doing. My high school guidance counselor continued to pour positive words into my life. And she asked me, "Are you going to go to college?" But let me tell you, I told her, I didn't get into COB. And I said, I was told when I was in high school by a teacher that I'll never be able to go to college. And so those things you start to believe. But I can tell you, in February of 1986, she took 16 of us to visit a college in Daytona Beach, Bethune-Cookman College, now Bethune-Cookman University. And we spent 5 days on the campus. And it is very important. That's why I tell you it's important to speak life over people.
Amen.
My high school guidance counselor took us there, and when we got to the campus, she pointed me out of the 16, and she says, "Ricardo, you're going to return to this campus." She said, "You're not only going to return to this campus, but," she says, "you're going to, when you attend here, you're going to get good grades. You're going to be on the honor roll." She says, "And when you come here, you will become the student body president." And she said, "When you come," she says, "you will make a difference here at this college." And so, I came back home in February, started my application process. And I remember trying, like how all of those students are going off to school now. And I remember in August 15th, and I remember the date, 15th of 1986, I boarded a plane and went to Daytona Beach with my parents. And I remember my parents leaving me at the college. And they said, you are starting anew. You have a chance to make a difference.
Yes.
You have a chance to change your life.
Yes.
It isn't up to us. It's up to you. And they left me in Daytona Beach. But let me tell you, young people, see, when you start to believe that things like that can happen, God started opening up doors.
Yes.
I went to there in 1986. And at the end of my freshman year, I received a grade point average of a 3.83.
Amen.
And for the first time in my life, I felt like a winner. Never experienced a grade point average that high. I went back the second semester and I continued to do well. And let me tell you, at the end of my freshman year, I was selected as most outstanding freshman.
Amen.
I went back my sophomore year and I continued to do well, and I was most outstanding sophomore. In my junior year, I was most outstanding junior. In my senior year, I was student body president. That meant I was in charge of all of the students. I had my own office, and almost 20, I was making $150 a week to be the student body president.
Amen.
Let me tell you, what man said that I'll never be able to go to college. I spent 4 years in college, did what I considered to be, I think, the best. And on April 23rd, 1990, I graduated from Bethune-Cookman College with a Bachelor of Science degree in psychology with honors.
Amen.
On top of my psychology class. After this is the young man who they said would never be able to go to college. But see, someone spoke over my life. My parents believed in me. They didn't give up on me.
Amen.
And listen here. God allowed me to walk through the doors of a college and to obtain an education to better myself.
Amen.
And you know, we can say, well, the story ended there, but it didn't. You know, I decided that I wanted to go on to pursue a PhD. But let me tell you, again, be careful of what people say. And don't limit yourselves, men. I know the women, they're here too, but men, we can't limit ourselves. In 1990, I was 23 years old, and I wanted to go and pursue a PhD. And I was looking at some doctoral programs. But I was 23. And I said, I don't want to spend 5 more years in school. And so if I spend 5 more years in school to go earn my doctorate, I would be 28, single, no kids. So I said, you know what? Let me look for a master's program, and the master's program is 1 year. And so I got into Nova University. You know, this is the young man who they said will never go to college, now pursuing his master's. And let me tell you, young men, people may tell you you can't do it, but let me tell you, you can do anything that you want.
Yes, sir.
God will make sure. Just believe. Trust in Him.
Yes.
You know, it may be harder for you to say, well, I have to go to school, and it's going to be a little bit difficult. But I'm telling you, you may have to study a little bit longer for the course that you're going to do, because you need to understand it. And everyone is in, you know, you see persons and you'll see, look at me like, Ricardo, you were able to do it. But guess what? It isn't that I'm naturally smart. I have to study. There's some people who can look at a book and they pass with an A. Now, if I pass today, I have to study. So I mean, I report you here and say, oh, it was easy. No, it was hard. But when you want something, you work hard for it.
Yes.
Because if you want it bad enough,
Yes.
you can work hard enough to get it.